Hey, it's Greg here with MaritimeGardening.com, and I thought I'd do a video that I think I'm going to entitle Heavy Mulch is Not a Problem. So I practice a form of garden where I use mulches on everything because it suppresses weeds, maintains moisture levels, and also feeds the soil organisms, which in effect fertilizes your soil. So it's a great way to maintain a garden, keep a garden sort of low maintenance, less weeding, less watering, and all that sort of stuff. And you can usually source all of that stuff for free. But people that get into that, they tend to worry about certain perennials and wonder if they should take them off in the spring, that sort of thing. If you've got soil you want to warm up quickly, you should take the mulch off temporarily to warm the soil up. But I'm talking about things you've planted, like specifically in this video. I'm talking about garlic, I'm talking about strawberries. That's what I'm going to show you. So these are stuff I've had under mulch all winter long. Now it's the last day of March, or it's either March 30th or 31st. I can't remember. Anyway, I'm going to show you beds that I've had mulched heavily over the entire winter. Haven't done a thing in these beds. And we're going to look at the state of the things I've got planted under the mulch to show you that you don't need to pull that mulch off. Everything's going to be fine. Okay, let's go have a look. Okay, so here I've got a bed of garlic. Now, you can see there's some poles over there. See those poles? And old boards from old, just rotten garden boards, right? So I had those poles across these spruce boughs in the fall, just so they wouldn't blow off. In the fall, we get like, crazy winds, tropical storms, and maybe even hurricanes sometimes. So I just weighted all of that down. But now this has been snowed on and rained on and frozen and thawed and all that sort of stuff. Ain't nothing going nowhere, so I don't need the poles over these anymore. But the general process is that I put the leaves down. I think with this garden I might have put a thin layer of seaweed, then leaves, and then the evergreen boughs. Okay. I put the seaweed down because it's a great fertilizer, but it's not a very good mulch. The leaves are an extraordinary mulch, so I put the leaves on top of the seaweed. And then the leaves blow away because it gets windy, so I put these spruce boughs over the leaves to hold them down. There's other things you can use anything that's sort of fan-like, right? You can even use chicken wire or wire mesh or something like that to hold the leaves down. Once your plants start growing, they sort of hold the leaves in place. But also just after being rained on and snowed on and stuff like that all winter long, all those leaves are sort of pushed. They're caked together. That's not to say a hurricane couldn't just whip them all out of here, but anyway, that's the way they've been. I haven't done anything here. I put the garlic in the ground and walked away. So I thought we'd just poke around here and find somewhere where I'm not creating shade. Let's pick a corner here. Okay, let's move this stuff aside. You can see the seaweed, right? That's seaweed from the shore. Move some of that aside. Alright, so there's these garlic. I mean, I don't tend to mess with this stuff because you start pulling the seaweed off, you break the tips of your garlic. Okay, if you break a tip off, they should still regrow anyway, but that's a garlic right there, okay? I got each garlic planted about 6 inches apart, so there should be one. There is one right there. Okay, there's one right there. I use my hand span to plant them. So if I can find one, there's another one, a hand span over here. I can see it right there. Okay. Anyway, all of these will have no problem finding their way up through the leaves. I mean, leaves suppress weeds, but don't think of this garlic like a typical weed. Okay, so a lot of weed seeds, they're tiny, tiny seeds, and when they start growing, they're teeny, tiny plants. And when they start growing, they're very vulnerable to various plant-loving pests. So a lot of weed seeds, when they germinate underneath the leaves, they either die because they're starved for light, because they've got like something like this on top of them, right? They just don't get enough. They send something up. There's a fundamental difference between a bulb sprout and a seed sprout, right? The seed has a little bit of energy stored in it, and the plant sends a shoot up, and it has to start gathering light to get more energy. This here, I mean, I planted a garlic clove about the size of my thumb in there. So this has a lot of ability and energy to push through stuff, right? So whereas a tiny little weed seed will encounter a thin layer of leaves like this, get starved for light and die, or get starved for light and try to grow sideways, and while it's growing sideways, it gets taken out by a slug or something, or a snail or some other pest, or gets some disease or God knows what, right? This thing will just keep pushing and pushing. It'll push the leaves out of the way. So I don't have to worry about these things, right? They're all going to find their way up through. For that matter, I can leave these spruce boughs on the garden, right? The light's still getting through. They're finding their way through. That's what they do. Okay, so the garlic is fine just like this. I don't have to do anything, right? They're gonna eventually. I'm gonna see garlic growing here, right? And this is a bed where I will do nothing, right? This is a maintenance-free bed. Planted the garlic last October, I'm guessing, and yeah. The next thing I'm going to do is harvest the garlic scapes around the end of May. There's these little sort of flower-like things that garlic make. They're not flowers, but they're flower-like, and you can eat them. And when you harvest them, it actually gives you a bigger garlic. And then in August, I harvest the garlic. That's it. All right, so it's a maintenance-free garden, and the most important thing is to just leave it alone. If you pulled off all this mulch, your garlic, the soil would not stay as moist because it would dry out under the sun, and you have all kinds of weeds, right? So, not to say that, I mean, there's going to be a few weeds that find their way through this, but like this mulch is going to prevent, I don't know, like 80% of the weed potential in this soil. But my garlic's going to have no problem finding its way up through. So just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Let the cake bake. Let it happen. It's all going to be fine. Over here, I got a strawberry bed. And you can see, this is wire remesh. You can get this at a hardware store. This is for doing concrete work. 4x8 sheet of this is, I don't know, it's probably 12 bucks when I bought it, but they're probably 20 bucks now. But they last years and years and years because they're heavy gauge steel. It would take a long time for this to rust away. Anyway, I use these for trellises for things like beans and peas and tomatoes and stuff, for cucumbers. But in the fall, I don't need a trellis. Right when I'm mulching these beds over, this is a strawberry bed. I mulch these all over with, I don't know, a good 4 inches of leaves in, I don't know, maybe early November, right? And they've been mulched ever since. I just threw these on, keep the leaves from blowing away. I store them outside anyway. Right? They're rusting. They're rusting, so what, right? Anyway, let's just have a look at the state of the strawberries underneath. You can see these ones are already pushing their way through, right? So are these ones. If I look here, there's probably a plant here somewhere. I don't know where it is. There's one there. I don't know where it is. You got one there, right? But these plants will shrug off the leaves. Oh, there's one there. The other one's probably right there. So there's one. You see it's shrugging the leaves off. The plant will find its way up through the leaves. There's probably one over here. I'd have to guess. I don't know where it is. There's another plant over there. I don't want to mess around too much. You know, you've got this instinct to be moving the leaves aside, but what you're going to be doing is breaking the foliage of the plant. The plant can deal with itself. The plant can push the leaves aside. It's not like a weed seed, right? It's got a huge root system underneath the ground, and that root system is full of energy, right? The plant is getting some light. Some amount of light is coming through those leaves, and some amount of heat energy from the soil or from the sun is warming the soil. And the warmer the soil gets, the more aggressively that plant is going to push itself up, and it's going to push the leaves aside. If you mess with these leaves, they're going to blow all over the place, and you're going to get weeds. You know, and you're still going to get weeds anyway, but you're going to get a lot more weeds if you mess around with all of this stuff. These have all been pushed down and caked into place by snow and rain and ice and all that sort of stuff, just leave it. Right, I've got a plant right here. You can see it's just starting to push its way through. Right, there's a full plant there somewhere coming in, right? And this whole bed, you know, if I were to investigate, start probing around, which I'm not going to do, I can see a little, usually you'll see a little mound, like this little mound there. Then there's a plant there. Okay, but the plant does not need me to do that. Okay, it'll push the leaves up. A little bit of wind will move the wind, will move the leaves off the plant. The plant's going to be fine. You don't need to do anything. Okay, I mean, you can if you want to, but there's no advantage to coming out and finding each little mound where the strawberries are growing and moving the leaves aside. I've done it in the past, and there's been years when I haven't done it. And all that happens when you go moving the leaves around is you make it easier for them to blow away, right? And when they blow away, the sun is on the ground and you get more weeds and that sort of stuff. So just leave it alone. Let nature take its course, right? The plant will push its way up and you're going to have a fantastic crop of strawberries. Okay? And that goes for any perennial, whatever it is. If you've mulched it with leaves or hay or straw or whatever, it's going to be able to get its way up and through. Light's not great here, but over here I've got a rhubarb bed, and this is in the corner of my garden. You can see there's a fence there, right? It's a shady spot. The growing conditions are less than ideal here. So if my rhubarb was somewhere over there where it's nice and sunny, they probably would be up and I'd see the rhubarb growing. I know other people in, not even a 15-minute drive from where I live, their rhubarb is growing. And I imagine if I put it in one of these nice spots, I'd have my rhubarb growing right now. But I save those nice spots for things like squash, things that need a lot of sun, peppers, tomatoes. I know that in this spot, the rhubarb will grow. It will find sun. I'm just going to get it a couple weeks later than everybody else. That's fine. I'm fine with that. Rhubarb's such a tough plant. Anyway, somewhere in here, there's rhubarb. If I go messing around with leaves, moving stuff around, I'm sure I'd find the crowns. And I'm sure I'd see somewhere that there's early stages of the crowns developing and getting ready to grow. But to me, there's just no point in mucking around like that. Right. I'm not going to be moving the leaves away. I'm not going to expose the soil. I'm not going to do any of that. I'm just going to let nature take its course. The rhubarb, once the soil's gotten warm enough, sure, the soil will get warmer if you remove the leaves. It'll get warmer faster if you remove the leaves, but then you're just going to have to put them back on, right? If you want to have all the advantages of a mulched bed. So why not just wait an extra week and do nothing, and it'll all be fine. It'll all be fine. I mean, all I use rhubarb for anyway is rhubarb crisp. So it's probably the most unhealthy meal I make from anything I grow in the garden is what I make with the rhubarb. It makes this really, really delicious dessert rhubarb crisp, and you eat it with ice cream. So in a sense, the rhubarb is the least healthy thing I grow in my garden. I'm in no rush. I don't need it, right? But it's just something we look for. You can make a sauce with it, for Thanksgiving dinner, kind of nice sauce you have with your turkey or that sort of. You can do that as well. Lots of things you can do with rhubarb, but I tend to make it into a dessert. Anyway, suffice it to say, I'm in no rush to have rhubarb. Right? My body doesn't need it. I just like it. This is all going to be fine. Don't need to move the mulch around. It's all going to be fine. Anyway, just a little video on mulched beds where you've got various kinds of perennials, and maybe you're thinking you should be pushing the mulch aside or helping those plants out or whatever. You can, but in my experience, there's really no point in doing it. The soil will warm up. The crowns or the root systems of those plants will activate when they're warm enough. They'll push up through the mulch and they'll be fine. Why do something when you don't have to do anything? I think that's a good motto. I should have that on a t-shirt. That's my motto for gardening. So anyway, I hope you found that interesting. If you did, please like, share, subscribe. Check out my podcast at maritimegardening.com. Check out my weekly article at maritimegardening.substack.com. And check out my sponsor, Vessi Seeds. Use my coupon code GAVS25 for whatever you need in your garden. The details on that are in the description box, and there's a little thing at the end just plugging Vessi Seeds and the coupon code. Otherwise, until next time, get out there, get at it, have fun in your garden. Thanks for watching.